So on this cold winter day, we thought we'd video some of this inside, or all of it inside. So we've had lots of great questions from you. And if you have a question from us, please do email us at gardeners@bunnyguinness.com. And then some of them we'll respond to on Zoom with you, recording you, if you like that, or we can read the question out for you. So we've got a mix of the both here today, and we hope you enjoy them. But we do really appreciate hearing from you.
So since doing the video of Mary Berry's garden, we've had lots of questions about Mary Berry's favourite rose. Could you tell me what it is, please, Bun?
Yeah, so we did her garden, we designed it together. It was about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And she kindly let us film it all about 2 years after we'd finished it. And one thing were her roses, which are her big passion.
Yeah.
And I thought I said it clearly on the video, but it's Chandos Beauty. And it's a hybrid tea.
Can I stop you there? Because you say Chandos Beauty, and you say all your plant names, and I have to look for them when I do the videos. And if it was me, I'd say Chandos Beauty, because that's how the spelling. Because if you put Chandos, it would be something with an S, H.
Well, however you say it, I
issues.
say Chandos, you say Chandos. But anyway, this rose is 1.2 metres high. It's pale pink, slight twinge of apricot, depending on the time of opening and things like that. It flowers really, really repeatedly.
It does look fantastic.
All through the summer, it's in flower. And it's got very glossy green leaves, which Mary likes, and that's fairly typical of a hybrid tea.
Yeah.
The shrubby roses tend to have a more matte leaf, but not always. But anyway, Mary does look after them very well. She feeds them every year. Her husband deadheads them daily.
Oh wow!
She picks up any black spotty leaves in the autumn and bins them, so that because black spots are fungus and it comes back through. And she prunes them heavily in March, really heavily, and lightly in the autumn after flowering. And I think roses are divine. Many people think they're hard work, and I think because Mary looks after them so well, they are hard work. But with mine, I have to say, I choose very tough, vigorous types, and they pretty much get on with it, apart from an annual mulch. But that's lovely. It was another question about Mary Berry's garden, wasn't it?
My first question before we do that is, do you think she uses her rose leaves to make those chocolate rose leaves that they used to do in the 90s for tops of cakes, or not?
I'm sure she does.
She
She uses rose petals, but when I asked her, I said, do you like the taste of rose petals? And I think she said, they just look lovely.
Yeah.
But there was another question.
And the other question was, what is the name of Mary's garden, Kevin, and what is the full name of Mary's garden, Kevin?
Yeah, we mentioned Kevin, or Mary mentioned Kevin, because he's worked for her for how many years?
32, I think, and he worked with her at her previous home, and they've got a really good relationship. And so obviously, when she moved house, she took him with her, which is lovely. Lots of plants do that.
Yeah,
they've got a good gardener.
And his surname of the lovely Kevin is Kevin Price. Do you think he should start up a fan club?
I don't know. You might want to change the price because it's a bit too close to Katie Price. Don't you not think of that?
Kevin Price, I don't know. Anyway, so there we are. So there's two. I hope if you haven't seen the video, do have a look at the video. Mary and I went to the same school. We had shared the same headmistress, and we were both spent most of our lives standing outside the headmistress's door because we were being reprimanded. We were two very naughty girls. But anyway, thank God those days were over. So the next question, now this was someone emailed us and then we recorded her on Zoom, or we recorded him on Zoom, sorry Rod, and this is from Rod Adams, so I hope you enjoy this.
Hi Bonnie, I'm Rod Adams. I'm a keen gardener, but I'm pretty useless. And several years ago I planted some fruit trees on a gravel border, and now they've outgrown their pots. The two that are surviving, which is a plum and a conference pear, have put their tap root through the hole in the bottom of the pot and into the soil. But so the plant pot is now chock-a-block with root, and over the weather, the plant pot has deteriorated. It's falling apart, cracking and falling apart. So there's a whole new few reasons why I need to replant. But I don't quite know how to do that without damaging the plant and or the taproot. So I asked you, since you're a keen no-bottom plant pot planter, how I could do that.
So it's an interesting question because this happens an awful lot. I think people put plants in a pot And presumably you weren't too hot on the maintenance with the ones that died. I gather some died, did they?
Yeah, they did, yeah. But
Right.
I think they were just maybe in the wrong place, and I didn't look after them properly. I don't, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not a particularly green finger. I like plants and I like trees, but I'm not particularly good at it.
Yeah.
Although
No, but
I'm a chemist, and you would think I'd know a bit more about the logic in plants.
oh,
And
yeah, the soil science and everything behind it. Yes. So no, I think the thing is what people don't realize is when they put a plant in a pot, and it stays in the same pot, even if you water and feed it, if it's for some time, the
yeah,
actual organic matter in the compost that will be there breaks down. And so you get this very stodgy compost with very
yeah,
few root air holes. And so they often can die of actually too much water because they don't drain because the air holes have been depleted.
yeah,
But it's common if you do leave one on any sort of substrate that they can get a root through, apart from concrete, that they will send their roots through that little hole and they get blocked up, don't they? The hole gets blocked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And so therefore the rain comes in or you water the pots and it can't get out. So you in effect have probably got
Yeah,
a
with the
little
flooded pot.
stump in there.
Yeah,
But luckily this one root has got down and it's found a way in the two cases, the pear and the plum.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
what
actually
I
side by side. So
side by side. So what I would say is, are the pots nice to have, or do you want to save the pots, the
no,
terracotta
the
pots?
pots are cracked and split through frost damage, etc., and obviously retention of water, but it's not been draining away.
Yeah.
They need replacing. So the whole point was to destroy that. That's why I asked whether you could wrap a pot around the existing root ball,
Yeah.
because I
That's
didn't
it.
know how to manipulate it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did here because I bought some terracotta pots maybe 35 years ago before I realized that you've got two types of terracotta, basically. You've got the frost resistant and
Yeah,
the frost proof. And I bought the frost resistant, and so they started to burst. And I hadn't had I taken yes, I had taken the bases off the pots. So I then just smashed the pots, and we did a video, a YouTube on this. I just smashed the terracotta pots,
right.
and then I got my metal worker to make me some square metal pots. These are in my veg garden, and they're fruit. No, they're not fruit trees. They're philarias, but by the by. And we literally just pushed them over the top.
Yeah, that
Now
would be.
you couldn't do that probably because how big are these two trees?
Well, they're against a fence, so I wouldn't fence it. This is the builder who put the gravel path in, and there's a fence with York stone pillars. So it's against they're against the wooden fences, and I've espaliered them all
Oh,
across the fence.
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, so you definitely want to save them. They obviously look
Oh, so
beautiful.
once I save the trees, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's taken
yeah.
long enough for them to fruit properly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I would actually just smash the pot around it and then either go for a metal option. And I did a piece, or you saw the piece in the Telegraph on the baseless
I did.
pots.
I love terracotta pots, so I was looking for taking the base out of a new decent terracotta pot, smashing what you already said, taking that off, trimming down the root ball a bit, and then plonking that on the top of that.
But you won't get
It
that over
hooked.
the top.
Because it's espalier, you won't get it
No,
over
you
the
would. No,
top.
you wouldn't. No, I'd take the tree down, prune it, which
Oh, I
pruning.
see.
Replace
Yes.
the fence.
Take it down, trim the root ball. You indicated maybe trimming the taproot a little bit, so then
I
I
well,
think
I think
put
you'll
it
have.
completely into a new pot and then
Yeah.
re-espaliate it. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think that would be another option. And
Okay.
then with the side roots, I'd get a spade and I would spade the four sides. So you're
Yeah.
literally cutting the fringe of four sides of that roof ball, that outer fringe of roots, which sounds so drastic. But what you're doing is you're stimulating the root hairs. And then
Right.
when you put the new pot around it, to have that all ready, and either pull it up from the bottom if you can do that, if you've cut the taproot, or
Yeah.
else get one in two sections that you push together, and then backfill. Hopefully, it'll be bigger with a really nice soil. So those side roots will come out, And it might even be worth, I don't know what's under your gravel, but it might even be worth.
Probably builders rubber. It's a new house built.
Well, I would almost put some nice soil underneath as
Yeah.
well. So remove the gravel, put some soil underneath, and put the pot back. But good luck with them, and I hope they like your friends.
I'll give it a go, and I'll see how they perform next year in the spring. And if they're growing, I'll contact you and say it worked.
So we've had a question from Ruth Kilcullen, and she watched the video about the baseless pots, and she said unfortunately she can't use baseless pots because she's on a hard standing and she's in a wheelchair, so it must be vital to have the hard standing for the access and the ease. But any recommendations for suppliers of huge pots for trees would be really gratefully received.
And lots of people have asked us, where do we get big pots? And it's a very good question. But first of all, even though she's in a wheelchair and she needs hard standing, when we've got pots outside on paving here and on other jobs, we just take out a circle directly underneath the pot.
But it's not, it doesn't go like the full extent of the base of the pot, because you want the pot to sit on something that's level.
Yeah, it doesn't
so
have
just
to.
like, so if it's an 800 diameter pot, it would be like a 500-600 diameter.
That would be fine. Yeah, and then it's nice and rigid. But sometimes I take the whole base out.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a bit. So she could still do that. It's just pickaxing up the hard standing or breaking out the concrete with the little concrete breakers that you can hire manually, and even I can use. They're really easy. But anyway, so for pot suppliers, so who do we use most? For metal, Jamie Bullock, I think we use mostly now, don't we? Because he's a young New Zealander and he's really very inexpensive compared to
and I like
his
style, and he does them for me, and I say, well, Jamie, can I have it a bit taller so I can fit around the table and stuff, and it works.
But so he's called JFab, and his ones are the really beautiful ones, that most expensive are about 1,700.
So they're the Versailles.
The Versailles copy, what I call the Versailles copy.
And these are really tough, strong, hard-wearing pots, and one might tell you her bit of bad luck she had with them recently.
No, I won't do that. Drove the car into one, but never mind. Car came off very badly. Pot was fine. But anyway, I'm not a good driver. But so those are the most expensive ones that we use from him. But we've done meter ones as well, haven't we, of that style? And they can be acid etched.
They do the bronze finish, which is lovely. He can paint them.
Well, they have to be acid etched, and then they can have the bronze, the lead, or whatever, or you can paint over the acid etched, because it means the metal's receptive to paint straight after galvanizing. Which you cannot normally paint directly after galvanizing. You have to leave it a few months. So the other ones that we use a lot are the terracotta and gardenesque are the most reasonable. And they do 600, 700 one. The large Lucy is nice, 70 centimetres.
I'll have a Google.
Yes, you have. We've got some in the barn waiting for a job.
And I've got the
And they are 295, but then you get a discount. If you're a Bunny Guinness member, you get a discount of 10%. So remember that. So you put in the discount code of Bunny10. And then you get 10% off those. And then we get lots of timber ones made up, don't we?
Chip,
our joiner, but any joiner.
Italian terrace, obviously.
Italian terrace are much more expensive, but they're very nice.
But they're the stunning ones that we used on the New House, New Garden video. They are Italian terrace, and they were really good.
But if your budget, you think £200 for pot is massively, they are big though, massively breaks your budget, then obviously often we just get the black plastic pots that they come in, the big ones. I take out the base of the secateurs or the lophus, hello doll, and then I plant hedging plants or box plants that used to be, or something around the base, or wrap them in hessian, or sometimes there's woven willow. You can get those little willow panel sheets, and I've wrapped those ones, or heather.
And I've got big plastic ones. It was from Homebase. I think you get them from BQ now, and they look like a barrel. And I used a couple of acrylic paints and made it look lead look, and then chopped out the base. But I did it with a Dremel, and I wouldn't advise doing it because it's kind of melted on the way around. I think somehow you'd get it.
The Dremel is that thing that just rubs it.
It's like,
why did you use that? What for?
Because we had one to chop out the hole in the bottom. I had a blade.
I'd use either a jigsaw.
It was only because it melted the pot, and it was a bit like. Oof.
Oh right, but it was fine.
It worked. Oh yeah, you'd never notice from underneath. But when doing it, it was a bit like, it's a bit strange. And other places you can look. So when I've gone through and redone my garden, it's like IKEA does really nice pots now that are terracotta.
And you take the base out an angle grinder.
Zara Home does them. Zara Home's actually got a really good outdoor garden range, you know.
Yeah.
H&M will do them. Lots of fashion places are now going into gardens and stuff, and they look really good. I'd really recommend having a look.
Great, so that is the one on pots. Now we've got a question which we recorded with Yvonne Busky.
Yeah.
So over to you, Yvonne.
Well, the question is how to sort of sculpt, I suppose, the Platycladus orientalis. Because once I got to actually doing it, it's so beautiful as it stands, as it's been growing. But the idea of cutting into that sort of fringe, it's kind of got like a beautiful golden sort of fringe almost round about it, just kind of felt a bit wrong. So I hesitated, and the person whose garden it was, she said, no, we'll just do it. And as she started to cut it, she realised maybe there's another way to do this rather than just going at it with a pair of shears. So we both stopped at that point, and we haven't gone back to it.
Wise move. But yours is the golden form, isn't it? Is that right? So it's Areonana.
Yes, in that, just because it's branches are so, like, most branches grow this way, but this one is growing like this way.
Yes.
It's so pretty. It's so nice to see it.
So it's a sort of chartreuse colour, would you say, on the outside, that sort of golden colour?
Colour round about the fringe of it, which is lovely.
And it's a sort of very much a sort of, not goblet shape, but a sort of globe, pointed globe.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah, so it's interesting because it's an unusual plant, but it's often called Thuja orientalis, Areonana. It's unusual, this, and I don't always feel very knowledgeable about many conifers because there's so many, and you know, they're all quite different. And so I did have a word with Matt Pottage, and Matt Pottage does Gardeners Question Time with us, and he used to run Wisley for the RHS, and now he's moved to running the Royal Parks. And he was euphoric about it. And he said, oh gosh, tell her to take great care of it. It's a lovely plant. It's most unusual. They're jolly lucky to have one, etc., etc. So that's nice to know, isn't it? And my feeling was that, you know, there were one or two conifers that when you cut into that dead wood, as you said, if you started to cut into it and you see the bare wood underneath the foliage, there were one or two, famously, obviously, Taxus baccata, that I've cut Taxus baccata trees right down to the ground that have been 400 years old on historic houses because they've just got so big and misshapen, and they've grown back. You know, they have enormous powers of regeneration. And there are a few others. Thuja placata, I think, is one. They do grow back. Let me just check that that's right. Yeah, Thuja is one that also grows back, many Thujas. So you're okay, perhaps, but I don't think because this isn't so vigorous, I don't think I would cut into this one. And Podocarpus is one that will grow back from dead wood, for future reference. And Cunninghamiae, he said, those are like the four only ones that will grow back. So because this is a Thuja, or sometimes known as a Thuja, you might get away with it, but I just wouldn't risk it. And my thought was the sort of three options. You could either propagate from it. And I find a lot of conifers are quite easy to take from cuttings, but that's a slow game. And this is a lovely one. You said it was 5 foot high?
Yeah, about just a bit more than me, and I'm like 5'2", so yeah.
Yeah, so it's because they say it's a maximum of 6 foot, so it's probably quite an old specimen. Do you think?
I think she had it for like about 20 years. I think she's been in that house, so I think it came with as a small, and it's just got bigger, and it's right on the edge of the pavement, and that's why she wanted to cut it, because she had the lawn. She took the lawn out and she planted some of these little trees, and now she's like, I think I need to, so people can get past. But as soon as we were like, just don't do it, just leave it.
Because you do see some Thujas, but not the golden form, that they've actually raised them as multi-stem. So they've stripped all the lower branches. And then when they're very tall trees, it does enable you to walk around them a bit more because all the foliage is gone. But because yours is only 5 foot, it's not really going to help a lot, is it? And it's going to look strange. You can't move the pavement. The path. I assume it's a path. Is it her path?
No, it's the pavement. It's the public path. So it's like the it's just outside her. She's got a little, what was the lawn that she's now just made into all plants.
Oh, right.
A tree right on the edge of it. So
oh, right. Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, another option, of course, is to move it. And Thuyas do move quite well, but that would be, I would probably do it because it's been in for 20 years. I'll probably cut round half the roots 1 year, a nice big trench right outside the root ball, and then backfill it with new soil, and then cut the other side by the pavement, because actually probably not so many roots have grown that way, and then get something to lift it, either big strong men or whatever. And we've moved big yews that have been 10-foot high plus, that have never been undercut. In nurseries they have an undercutting blade to stop those tap roots, and we've used massive ones, and I'm always amazed how well Taxus survives like that, and Thuya apparently are quite good too. So that's one option if you really love it.
She would be up for that, but I think it's just, is there a way to really trim it, without?
Yeah, the other thing is to just trim off that side so people can walk by, and just go gently into the new growth. And I imagine the new growth will probably be about 300 mil or so, wouldn't it, at least?
Yeah, because even when we did tentatively cut the small section, there's still quite a lot of it, beyond that. So it just looked so sort of nasty, kind of just going in with the big shears. So
exactly. So I would, late winter, early spring, I would probably trim off some, going as far as you dare. And if you can make it a nice shape, so it sort of was a bit more cylindrical and then it came out, I think that would be okay. And I'd probably do the same on the other side, because it will look a bit odd otherwise. Yeah. And it's always one of those things, I think you must not get too carried away, do a bit, stand back, have a look at it, come back and do a bit more. But it's a problem when so often we plant the wrong tree too close to a path, or in the wrong place, too close to the building. You see it everywhere, and it's such a shame, but it's very easy to do, and I think we've all done it, to be honest. And probably the people who built the house before thought, Nana, it's dwarf, it won't go very big.
Dwarf, yeah, but it's already getting to its height. Well, it's like, it's probably,
yeah. So I hope that helps, and good luck with it. And when you've done it, it would be lovely to see a photograph of it and see.
Suggest that we go in tentatively and see if she wants to do that or not. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, thank you very much for your question. That's really kind.
Thank you very much. That's great.
Lovely to chat.
The last question, I think, is because it's that time of year and everybody's panicking about what to buy, and I know we are for Bang because she's got hard to buy for. And what is the best gardening gift you receive? Because you always see at Christmas people give gardeners that big thing of hand soap with bits of pumice, and you think, well, this is great, but 6 bottles is not great. So what's the best gardening gift you've received?
I think, you see, my family never give me gardening
Well, no, because you get them on the business, it's VAT free, so what is the point?
Yeah, exactly, and I have contacts and I know what I want. But one time we had a small party, and this mad sort of Russian cross Welsh friend, he's an artist called Ron Bateman, he came and he bought me this beautiful little holly tree, standard holly tree that he had grown, and he put red ribbon, he's a real artist, so he decorated it massively, and it's out in the courtyard. And I love it, and every time I look at that, I think of Mad Ron Bateman, and so it was just such a nice surprise, and something you can always fit into any garden, I think.
And it's nice to see it on a daily basis. It's like, ooh,
Yeah. Okay, what about you? What's your favourite?
I love, obviously we don't do gardening gifts.
Can I just excuse the noise in the background in case you can hear it, but Dolly, Eunice's dog, has just come in and she's now licking our dog's bowls. And there's nothing in them, but she's going for it. Do you not feed her?
No, I do. I had a friend saying last night though, so she had a bit, but it was just like his dog was a bit more food protective. And so to avoid the bus stop, I thought actually I can give her biscuits when I come here, kind of thing.
Anyway, carry on. Your favourite present?
My favourite present, so we don't do gardening presents. I mean, Bun's good, she's given us pots and stuff over the time, but normally we don't do gardening presents because it's business. So I like chickens, live chickens for Christmas. And last year you very kindly got me 2 chickens for Christmas. And they were going really strong. We don't give our chickens names. They're going really strong, doing really well. And then Xanthi, who's
Xanthi, you've
Xanthi who's just shot in on cue.
And you can see she's got the muddiest mouth in the world.
You
Where
can't
have
see her, thank
oh,
God. She's covered in mud. Xanthi ate one of my chickens, so I'm looking for 2 more chickens for Christmas. Only because they're so good with the eggs, and they're nice to have around, and they enjoy seeing you and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'd rather have live chickens that lay eggs than go and buy a box of eggs a week.
I have to say, I'm really sorry that happened, but what I would do is I would take my dogs into the wood with the chickens when they go out. They go out into the world for a couple of hours each day out of their pen. Here's the other muddy dog. And they were absolutely fine.
No, you can't.
And then one
Get
day,
off
someone
the
else
mud.
took them out, and the chickens were out. And for some reason, she went for one. So I had trained them, I thought, not to chase my chickens. But when I wasn't
You can
there,
also train them to teach me not. Train them to not cover me in mud.
so
It's
muddy.
disgusting.
Anyway, that's all. Have a very happy
off
Christmas.
me.
We
I
have
didn't
got another one next week, I think. A video. We've got a couple of weeks before Christmas, haven't we? I've totally lost track of
Yeah,
time.
we've got 2 more weeks here.
But anyway, thank you very much for watching our videos. Please send us questions. We'll do another of these question ones in a month or so. Gosh,
Yes.
dirty mouth.
And
And we look forward to lots of lovely videos next year, as well as a few more this year. Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, please press the subscribe button.
Please press the like and subscribe button.
The like and subscribe
Did you not
button.
learn from Mark?
And also, if you want to be a member of Bunny Guinness's Gardening Club, please send us an email to...
No. If you'd like to be a member of the Bunny Guinness's Gardening Club, you have to press the subscribe button, and then it will show you the join button. But it only tends to work if you do it on a laptop, a computer, or a tablet that you've stuck onto landscape mode, because I always use mine in portrait. But if you stick it onto landscape, you somehow fooled it, so it thinks it's like a computer, and then it will show you up the join button.
And then you can get discount to the pots, the plants we mentioned in other videos. What else have we got?
Email you lots of questions.
Email me questions. What other? We got discounts on about
Plants,
plants,
bulbs.
big trees from Deep Dale, all sorts of
I've got
things.
many more coming. You can also ask like design related questions rather than just plant related questions.
Lovely. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.